All right, welcome to the second semifinal here at the U25 Women's World Championships in Suphan, Paris. My name is Vanessa Erskine. I am here with Will Waller, two-time bronze medalist Paralympian with the USA Men's Wheelchair Basketball Team, as well as CEO of the NWBA, as well as many other things on his resume, now including commentator. What are you expecting here with this game?
To be honest, I'm expecting a bit of a battle between both the British squad or the Great Britain squad as well as Australia. Two very strong teams, physical teams, and so I think we can expect a high degree of physicality in the game, as well as really good execution. Two well-developed programs across the world, and a great benchmark for other clubs.
And now, before we kick off this game, do you want to hit us with some of the sponsors that we can thank for helping put on such an amazing tournament?
Absolutely. The local organizing committee has done a great job identifying these sponsors, and they've put on a world-class event for all of the athletes, their staff, and families who've attended. The Sport Authority of Thailand, Nation Sports Development Fund, Sports Association for the Disabled of Thailand under the royal patronage of His Majesty the King, Subonpuri Province, Sport Association for Wheelchair Basketball in Thailand, the Football Thai Factory Sporting Goods Company, Boon Rod Brewery Company, nothing like a brewery, Singa is the name, Molten Basketball, a sponsor of wheelchair basketball worldwide. Many organizations have the benefit of Molten backing them. CFA Company, Bangkok Mass Transit Authority, getting people to their destinations safe and on time, including these athletes here at Subonpuri Arena. And the International Wheelchair Basketball Federation, a high degree of time, effort, energy, and investment in this 2019 U25 Women's Basketball World Championship. Very exciting game coming up for this second semifinal.
Yes, and truly the team behind the team. A lot goes on to put on such a flawless event like we've experienced here in this 2019 World Championships. Absolutely incredible support from the volunteers all the way from the sponsors, IWBF that's here. It's just been an absolute incredible experience to be a part of, and I think if you ask any of these athletes, it's been incredibly well run and smooth sailing for them, allowing them to really focus on what they need to take care of.
For sure. Last bit of warm-ups before the teams will go in for the final huddle. Game plan is already set. Coaches have had their athletes in the locker room, and now it's going to come down to whether or not either of the teams can establish a great tone and tempo in the game. The GB team apparently feels as though they're already well prepared. No sense in spending too much time in the huddle.
And for your starting five for Australia, you will be seeing Mary Friday take the court, as well as Marianne Latau, Georgia Bishop Cash, Tasia Shadwell, and Annabelle Lindsay.
Yeah, and for the Great Britain squad, Charlie Moore, a.k.a. Charlotte from Coventry. And then we've got Kayla Bell from Thatcham. I might be saying that wrong. I apologize in advance. And then we go down to Joy Hazelden from Southampton. She's one of the co-captains of this team. Maddie Thompson, another co-captain from Hope Valley. And then we round it off with number 10, Jade Atkin from Portsmouth, a 4.5 player. So let's see what these starting lineups can do, Vanessa. Very excited to see what type of intensity they can come out with. Let's face it, only one of these teams is going to go on to the final.
And GB is defending their title, so they were the previous U25 women's basketball world champions in the last tournament. There's only been 3 tournaments so far. USA coming with the first ever gold, GB following suit, so they are here to defend their title.
And absolutely, this is the third, hopefully, of many. Great to see the investment in women's wheelchair basketball by the IWBF as well as the national organizations of wheelchair basketball. USA won the first, GB won the second, and GB is very intent on putting their best foot forward to see if they can come in for the third. Annabelle Lindsay ready to set the tip along with Jade Atkin. Referee has it up. Lindsay with the tip. Gets it over to Marianne Latu from Sydney. Number 7 brings the ball to the center, top of the key.
Joy Hazelden
Thompson,
playing.
Tough D.
And Joy Hazelden really helping lock down Annabelle Lindsay. Australia not taking advantage of the mismatch, though.
Long shot by Marianne Latu. Ball kicked to the right side for Charlie Moore. No, not for Charlie Moore, sorry. That's for Joy Hazelden. Hazelden with the ball. They leave her. She drives to the paint, but Annabelle Lindsay making her presence felt immediately with the block. Tallest player on the court. Pushes the ball up with pace. Swings it over to the center.
And we've
rebalancing the court. Annabelle Lindsay, a mismatch just about wherever she goes. Maybe a bit of nerves on that first shot.
And we've seen teams this entire tournament really focusing on Lindsay, sometimes double teaming her, really trying to take her out of that game and seeing what the rest of the Australian team is able to do.
Yep, Hazelden dropped it off onto the baseline for Maddie Thompson. Comes up short on her first shot from 15 away. Putting hard chair pressure on to the Aussies. Annabelle Lindsay inside again. Maddie Thompson raises her hands.
That'll be the first foul of the game.
She knew she got her. Maddie Thompson, great chair skills, great energy. Number 7 for Australia, Marianne Latu, triggers the ball into Annabelle Lindsay. Lindsay from 15. Oh. Baseline official calls a violation. Marianne Latu runs the baseline when she's not allowed to do so. Has to enter straight in to the court of play. Got another whistle here. Not sure what's happened. Hazelden triggers it in to Charlotte Moore. Get the ball down court. Hazelden over to Thompson. Thompson pops out onto the wing. Thompson surveys the court. Looks at the rim. Puts it up. Just long. Long rebound. Unable to capture it is Charlie Moore. Number 10 for Great Britain may want to switch down onto Annabelle Lindsay. She's currently got a huge mismatch.
Great job switching off that seal, not allowing her to be able to take that lane, though.
Lindsay dishes to the center. Poor pass here by Marianne Latou. Second unforced error by Latou. And it's safe to say in this semifinal matchup that the nerves are going to be kicking in. So let's see if she can settle those down.
Yes, and I do believe that GB has quite a bit more experience on the court right now than Australia, so their nerves are probably going to settle a little quicker. It's going to be how Australia is able to react and maintain their composure with the GB energy and experience.
Absolutely. Good two-man game going on there with Hazelden and number 10, Jade Atkin.
That's going to be a foul on Annabelle Lindsay, number 13, her first personal foul.
Baseline entry here by Charlie Moore. Charlie kicks it out to Kayla Bell. Back to Moore. Moore with the 15-footer from the right side. No good. Annabelle Lindsay, tallest player on the court, running the fast break. GB back with good transition defense. Ball swung over to number 10.
Australia getting in some ball swings, and it's able to fall.
Hey, great contribution from Marianne Latou. A lot of movement going on, switches occurring into half court. Left Latou open for the free throw shot. It went in off a high bounce. Maddie Thompson, not sure if it was a shot or a pass. She recovers it again.
Both teams on a little bit of a scramble right now. They need to find their rhythm and settle down a bit.
Ball swung to the left side. Hazelton over to number 6, Bell. Another missed shot. 0 points on the board still for GBR.
That is going to be an offensive foul on number 13, Annabelle Lindsay. That's going to be her second personal foul already with 3 minutes into the game. She is going to need to be careful because Australia cannot afford to take her off the court.
They can't afford it, but they may have to because if she gets a third, that's big trouble. Hazelden with the ball on the right side, drives to the lane, dishes out to Maddie Thompson, looks for another shot, short, one more time. Insult to injury, she pressures the ball and commits another foul. That's her second. A leader for each of these teams, Annabelle Lindsay and Maddie Thompson, both committing 2 early fouls. Each team expects their leaders to make smarter plays.
And now something to take notice with the GB when they're transitioning onto offense is how they're getting 1 or 2 back picks. They're trying to run a numbers on offense, and sometimes that can work really, really great, but sometimes it can also cause a little bit of a hectic play. So I think they really need to start trying to find their rhythm.
They need someone to step up and communicate when they're coming back in transition. Don't wait till you get down in the court. Number 10 inside.
Able to get a tip on the ball.
Big Jade Atkin for the first 2 points for Great Britain. The big gets into the paint, misses the first, hits the second, and we got a tie ball game with 5:50 left on the clock in the first quarter. Low scoring affair to start, but I don't expect it to be that way for long. Great seal inside for Annabelle Lindsay. Incredible seal.
Both teams applying really, really hard pressure here on defense. Annabelle Lindsay currently being backpicked. They're going to be able to get a little bit of a height mismatch.
Back inside. If it's not broke, don't fix it. Get it right back in there to big Jade Atkin from Portsmouth. She pays for the Tees Valley Titans back home. No, sorry, the Blackhawks. I apologize.
And that is going to be an offensive foul on number 9 for Australia, Isabel Martin.
Ball swung to the left side. Maddie Thompson checks the court. 5 seconds on the clock. Swing it all around to Hazelden. Hazelden from outside. Ball short. Hazelden sprinting to the half-court line. Gets the rebound. Shot clock resets to 14. Back down to 7. 6. Maddie Thompson with the ball. Spots up. 3-second violation called by the baseline official. Maddie Thompson had the ball, unaware that her teammate was in the lane. GBR are all getting good looks here. It's going to be more a matter of converting. Annabelle Lindsay receives the ball over the half court.
GB with a man-on-man press right now, really getting on chairs. Australia taking some time to be able to set up into a good offensive position. Finally able to break down the defense.
All of that pressure delivering the result they wanted, which is a shot under duress once again. Annabelle Lindsay attempted to get the ball inside. Kayla Bell deflected it off of her. Possession retained, or Australia retains possession.
We're seeing a lot of little mistakes right now, little things that that they know better to do, but just with the nerves, you can tell that they're kicking in a bit.
Annabelle Lindsay gets spun slightly. Pressure from behind, had a hand up. Annabelle Lindsay unfazed by the pressure. Number 10, Jade Atkin, couldn't play any better defense on her from behind. Just a better shot by Lindsay. Hazelden with the ball, drives inside, breaks down the defense, swings it over to the left wing. Maddie Thompson for another shot. This one rims in and out. We've got a raucous Australian crowd here. British fans also in tune with their team.
Great pressure there by GB, able to get an 8-second backcourt violation on Australia. It will be GB ball at the sideline. They're both benches getting really behind their team right now, trying to give them energy on the court.
Talk about the benefit of crossing when there's pressure like that, Vanessa.
So it's going to be really, really important as an offense when you have a team pressing you to cross and set those angles. But more importantly, you're going to need the levels. You can't all be on one line. You need to set levels so you're able to get that good cross and that good picking angle. And then as a defense, it's really going to be important to make sure you communicate with one another on when to switch and also what kind of player is coming through. If you have the fastest player on the court coming through and attacking, you want to make sure that player they're about to attack is prepared for that speed.
Maddie Thompson missed the last shot for GBR, and then Jade Atkin missed her first look, put in the second. Then down on the other side, Tisha Shadwell from Melbourne, the Kilsyth Cobras big, number 10, puts the ball in, absorbed the contact, still gathered her shot and put it in, unfazed. And if Australia is going to have success in this game, they're going to need more than Annabelle Lindsay to make a difference. So really good early sign for Tisha Shadwell to get a shot that deep in the paint, particularly considering the pressure that they're putting on them.
Yeah, that was a great job by her, controlling her chair, absorbing the contact, and getting a good shot off. And the free throw's good.
The unconventional three-point play. Great job by the big. Not only hitting that shot, but making GBR pay with the free throw. They call it free for a reason.
GB trying to run the man out. Hazelden driving off the pick.
Nice aggressive drive by Hazelden. I like the drive by her. Unfortunately, couldn't get it off. And another instance of missing the shot and exacerbating it with a foul. They're going to need to adjust to the officiating here. The officials aren't letting them go after the ball like that. And in any level of the game, whether you're talking junior wheelchair basketball, senior wheelchair basketball, stand-up basketball, or sit-down basketball, the officials can predict when you're going after that long rebound and you miss it, what you're going to do.
Exactly, and that's going to be Joy Hazelden's second personal foul. Fourth team foul for GB, so one more foul, and then Australia is going to start getting some free shots here and potentially just opportunities to get more points on the board. And like you said, you really have to be able to adjust to how the refs are calling. So if you know that they're going to start calling a lot blocks from behind or a lot of reaching or certain chair contacts, you need to be able to, as an athlete, notice those calls and be able to adjust to it.
And you see right now that these coaches have their teams in this timeout, and hopefully that's one of the things that they're talking about, not only the tactics on the court and what they ought to be doing in the individual reads as well as the team reads, but also what do you need to do to adjust to these officials? And I hope they're saying to them, listen, we've got over 7 minutes gone in this game. Let's get the nerves out. It's time to relax. Shoot the shot how you know how to shoot the shot, and let's get our percentage up from where it is currently.
And that's the beauty of tournaments like this, the under-25 tournaments. This is the learning opportunity for all of these girls to be able to learn the international game, learn little things like that, get the experience to grow into senior national team and Paralympic team members.
Absolutely. These athletes are the future of each of those programs. Annabelle Lindsay comes up from the left post, gets the ball. She's got a mismatch now. Lindsay, despite how short she's been playing as far as the duration of her career, you already see that she's not just an inside player. She'll take that mismatch from 12, 14 feet out. And I've seen her throughout this tournament hit some really tough shots.
She has, and I believe she's only been playing for 2 years. She's actually over in the U.S. program, UTA, right now, so plays alongside some of the USA players here, and also under the coaching of Jason Nelms, who's a former USA men's national team player.
Yep. Great ball reversal by the Great Britain team. Got the ball over to Hazelden. She misses another one, but it is another good look. Annabelle Lindsay, the biggest player on the court, outraces Hazelden, scoops it with her right hand, and it's in! Annabelle Lindsay with the pace and the score.
Australia able to recover. GB not going to be able to run a number situation.
Hazelden with the ball on the right side. Drives in for another shot. Gets the contact, puts it in.
And
I see your layup, Annabelle Lindsay, and I've got one better.
Yeah. And that foul is going to be on number 7 of Australia, Marianne Latu. And that'll be her first personal foul, third team foul.
This is a great way for Hazelden to get going. She hit that tough shot. Now she goes to the free throw line. She can work on her mechanics, and if she gets these free throws going, it might get her going on the outside range. Unfortunately, that's a miss. Batista Shadwell driving down the left side. Swings the ball over to Marianne Latu. Over to Annabelle Lindsay. Gets bumped. No good. We already said it, but it bears repeating that the officials are calling this game tight. You can't bump the chair when the player's got both hands in the air. It's unmistakable. That's a foul.
And it's going to be super important to watch your chair contact. You're going to need to get your axle in front of their casters and make sure you are in a full stop position on defense.
Body, then ball. We teach it at all levels. Doesn't matter what kind of basketball you're playing. First you get the body, then you get the ball. You can't run into people. Annabelle Lindsay hits the first, misses the second, gets her board, has a mismatch on Thompson, patiently pulls the ball out. 12 points for Australia, 8 points for GB.
5 seconds left on the shot clock. Lindsay going to go for the long 45.
Loads it up. And there's that range I was talking about. She might be a big, but she's got range. She's got a nose for that basket. Saw the shot clock winding down. Patiently put it up. Patiently put it in.
She's another player that comes from the AB game, and you can definitely tell by her shot. It's just smooth. It's a perfect form shot.
Ball swung inside. Big shot for the Brit. That's number 5 for Great Britain, Bethany Wheeler. And she is a 3.0, sitting tall. Still showed that she was able to use her balance to absorb the little bit of contact she had and put it in. Annabelle Thompson, shot clock winding down. 2 seconds on the clock. She puts it up. And it's long. Stationary three-pointer. 6 seconds on the clock for the quarter. Hazelden brings it up. Hazelden rolls into the three. No good. Just off the front of the rim. Headsy play by Hazelden. Number 14 from Southampton, co-captain of this team, knew where the game clock was, put the three-pointer up, and it looked good, but unfortunately came up just a bit short.
And that is going to end the first quarter for us, 14-10 for Australia. If you were the coaches right now, what kind of messages would you be giving your team?
Well, what I would tell each of them is that, hey, we had a slow start. It's a low-scoring affair to begin. but we've picked up the pace, we've picked up the execution, and now it's a matter of focusing on the priorities. They need to declare what the priorities are, but we already know that the coaches would have done that before the start of this game. So I would be sitting there reminding them, who are those priorities? And if I'm Australia, I'd be saying that none of them have really hit from the outside. So I'm not jumping hard. I want to deny the paint. And although they don't have a ton of size relative to Australia, I still don't want to jump and expose myself. And then if I'm the Australian side of the ball, I want to talk about freeing up Annabelle Lindsay. She has so much obligation to control the ball and bring it up. I'd like to free her up from some of the ball handling and let her use her strength and force and maybe some picking to get her into the lane. So that would be my priority if I were those teams. But GB needs to put chairs on Annabelle early and possibly make sure that they're throwing a second person or at least shade another person over to Lindsay. If you're GB, you want anyone else to beat you but Annabelle Lindsay, because she's clearly the best player on that team.
Yeah, she has definitely been throughout the whole tournament, so it's no surprise. Yeah, I'm going to be interested to see. We've seen GB using a pretty good rotation. They've had a couple of players coming in and out off the bench, giving some good minutes. A little less rotation with the Australian side, it seems. I think the GB team has a little bit more depth in that part. So hopefully they're able to keep arms fresh, because this is going to be another long 30 minutes in a very physical game, I think, all the way through to the end.
Yeah, as predicted, a very physical affair, as the fouls would indicate. Maddie Thompson triggering the ball on the sideline. Both teams, GB have certainly gone back to their starters. Maddie Thompson with the ball on the left side. Swings it up top to Charlie Moore.
Swings it back to Maddie
Thompson. Beautiful sign if you're the Brits. Maddie Thompson hits her first shot of the second period, and that's something lovely for them to see. She was very cold in that first quarter. She came out poised. Annabelle Lindsay fadeaway. No good. Calling the contact there, I believe, on number 10, Jade Atkin. If we had a look at the replay, Vanessa, I'd wonder whether or not Annabelle Lindsay pulled back on her own wheel or whether or not she got pushed.
I think it was a mixture of both, but since there was the foot plate and a little bit of a hip throw from Jade, they ended up giving the foul. But I do believe it was a mixture. It's just, if Jade would have held her hands on her wheels and stopped her chair, I think she would have gotten away with a no call.
That's the key. You're absolutely right. 15 points for Australia, 12 for Great Britain. Annabelle Lindsay at the line for the second of two. Nothing but the bottom of the net. Annabelle Lindsay coming out here with a purpose.
Those are going to be dangerous fouls for GB too. If you're going to foul anybody but her. As soon as she starts heating up, she's somebody that can carry this team and go off.
Absolutely. Maddie Thompson just hit her last shot. Swings it over for ball reversal. Nice patience by Maddie Thompson. Maddie Thompson gets it into Jade. Jade just off the side of the rim. That's a beautiful pass by Maddie Thompson. You can't look off Jade Atkin when she gets point blank from the rim.
Australia running a double big side here. A little interesting. Joy Hazelden with a great help defense.
Shot looked good. Just off for Annabelle. Maddie Thompson full speed. Thought she might take her to the rack.
5-on-3 advantage for GB.
Nice play there. She had her teammate, Kayla Bell, break down the defense, left Maddie Thompson wide open for the 15-footer. Unfortunately, that one chose not to go in. Annabelle Lindsay with the ball. Mismatch just about wherever she goes. 2-on-1 on Maddie Thompson. Dish it down low to number 9, Isabel Martin, just off. Maddie Thompson with the ball, pushing it up with pace. Maddie Thompson brings it up middle.
3-on-2.
More on the right, ceiling on the left side. Puts it up for Thompson. No good. Just off for GBR. Beautiful seal on the left side by Charlotte Moore. Created a perfect lane, but unfortunately Maddie Thompson unable to finish.
Looking for Anella here, swings it over.
Bank shot, no good.
Just a bit short. Maddie Thompson getting a hand on it. It will remain Australia ball, but with 5 seconds left on the shot clock, timeout called.
And if I'm Tisha Shadwell, as much as I want to get going, Tisha Shadwell rather, as much as I want to get going, need to recognize that Annabelle Lindsay has the hot hand. She had a mismatch, even though she was double teamed on the offside. She had 2 smalls on her in that double. That's a clear ball reversal, and you make the GB team do something different. You swing it over there. Instead, unfortunately, she shot an air ball. Fortunately for them, ball went off of Maddie Thompson. But these are the types of adjustments that if I'm the head coach for Australia, Stephen Charlton from Western Australia, I'd be talking to him about exactly that. And if I'm GB, Coach Thompson, who's filling in for Dan Price, who had to forego this trip for personal reasons, if I'm Coach Thompson, I'm talking to this team about the fact that you're getting good looks. These shots usually go in for you. Don't change your form. Don't change your mechanics. This is why you train. This is why you compete. Come back out here, relax, and shoot the ball.
Exactly. She has a beautiful shot. She has great arc on her shot. It's just not falling right now. She needs to trust herself and redevelop that confidence right now.
Absolutely. That can be said for more than one.
It'll be Australia ball on the baseline. 5 seconds left on the shot clock.
Put it this way, it's a 16-12 game. Australia's up. Shot by Lindsay, off. But currently GB shooting 6 of 23. And if you told me I'm going to be 6 of 23 and still only be 4 points down, I like my chances.
Yeah, that's definitely rather good chances. I think both teams not being able to quite find the rhythm with their shooting right now.
Maddie Thompson with the ball on the right side this time. Shot clock under 10. 6 seconds. Hazelton with the ball. Sets back up. Puts it up. Doesn't get the bounce. Board by big Tisha Shadwell. Bringing it up. Taking some of that obligation off of Annabelle Lindsay. Ball swung to Marianne Latou. Latou back to Tisha Shadwell on the right side. Nice skip pass over to
Lindsay.
Annabelle. Gets bumped by Charlie Moore. Official's going to call that, I believe, on the floor, but it doesn't matter. They might be in the bonus. Are they in the bonus?
No, that's going to be the third team foul, I believe, for GB. It looks like we're going to have some substitutions. Maybe a timeout. Table's a little hectic right now. Yeah, it looks like GB has called a timeout. Probably going to try to recover themselves. Things getting a little hectic, and that's not how they want to play.
Something that I don't think we see enough of is when you have, even if it's one of your starters, and one of those starters goes ice cold, I would pull that starter out, quick substitution, get the starter on the bench, get a quick drink of water, do whatever you need to do, gather yourself. 1 minute later, you're right back into the game. And maybe throw in a message of, I believe in you. That's why you're a starter. That's why you're a co-captain on this team. So go on out there and help lead us.
I completely agree. And I think GB totally has the people on the bench that would be able to give that time to allow a starter to come off. As we see now, Siobhan Fitzpatrick coming on, I believe. Yes, coming on in place of Jade Adkin.
A.K.A. Shiv from Coventry.
Yes. So they're going to be a little bit of a smaller lineup now. So they're really going to need to work on focusing on keeping the key clear, not allowing the Australians into the key, as well as boxing out, not allowing them to get offensive rebounds and second chances.
So they've opted instead to go with the sub. That's going to give Jade Atkin a quick little opportunity. Oh!
Difficult
Good shot by Isabel Martin.
Wow.
Whirling dervish nearly in the lane. Puts it up at an awkward angle right off the glass, and it's good. Beautiful shot by Isabel, the 20-year-old one-pointer from Melbourne.
Maddie Thompson again not being able to
Tisha
find
Shadwell
her.
with the ball. Gets up on the break. Maddie Thompson going to chase her down. Maddie Thompson, one of the fastest player on the GB team. Smart play not to foul by Maddie Thompson. She disrupts the play. Tisha's shot is off. Hazelton gets the ball. Really good play. Maddie Thompson making a big difference on the defensive end there. Offense is not the only way to affect the game, as she just showed us. Drive. shot. Oh,
Doesn't
no
fall.
breaks for Maddie Thompson thus far. 5 minutes and 50 seconds left in the second quarter. 8-second call by the back official.
Great pressure by GB.
Head coach for the Aussies, Stephen Charlton, imploring his team, don't go up in a straight line. Cross. Haven't you heard our commentators from America?
Maddie Thompson with the inbound to
got
Joy Hazelden.
the GB squad rooting their team on from the sideline. Maddie Thompson with the ball, working on the right side. 5 seconds on the clock. Maddie Thompson locks, loads, scores! Maddie Thompson finds her range. Beautiful sign. If you're GB, you need Maddie Thompson scoring in this game. More pressure by GB. That's what they talked about in that timeout.
Annabelle over half
Big
court.
pass to Annabelle Lindsay. Picked off by number 5.
Bethany Wheeler.
Unbelievable.
An
Beautiful
Australia
way to
player
jump
is
that
down
lane.
as well.
They've got a 5-on-4 advantage. Isabel Martin can't get up. Pass inside the lane. Big shot by Shiv. Unfortunately, unable to get it in. Nice turn of... Nice sequence there, rather. It was that defensive stop by Maddie Thompson on the left side when she chased down Tisha Shadwell. Sometimes you need a defensive moment that's going to trigger someone's offense. That play there boosted her confidence. She then comes down in one of the next successive plays and ends up being on the wing, less than 5 seconds on the clock, squares her shoulders, has her chair stationary, and puts up a high arcing, beautiful 15-foot shot. And that's exactly what they needed. And I think right now what Coach Thompson's talking about, the pressure is working. We got 1 8-second violation. We got nearly a second 8-second violation. So keep the pressure on. Stop those chairs. Don't let them cross. And obviously the other coach is saying what, Vanessa?
Yeah, I think they're going to tell them that this is a game of runs. And we had our run. They stopped our momentum. They're on their run. And now it's our turn to stop their momentum and to get back on our run. And at the end of the game, it's going to be who is able to maintain their momentum and that run the longest. And as we can tell, 18-14 right now. I think this is going to be a close game all the way down to the end.
Yep. Stephen Charlton's feverishly wiping off his whiteboard. And I bet he had the press break drawn up on that whiteboard. But the turnabout by Miles Thompson for GB, pulling the press off as soon as he prepared for it. Tisha Campbell gets the ball over half court. Tisha Campbell drops it off for Latu. Annabelle Lindsay on the right side. Isabel Martin working with her.
Driving baseline for the mismatch. Swings
it over.
She had the
mismatch she wanted.
That's going to be a foul on the shot.
Foul by Shiv on big Tisha Campbell. Shiv Fitzpatrick bumps her down low with the chair. When both hands are in the air, that's an easy call.
And that's going to be second personal foul, third team foul.
We got a 3-person crew here from the IWBF. This squad has to go through a very elaborate process in order to be carded as an official to officiate these games. So just as players have to train and prepare, the officials have to do the same thing.
Exactly, and I've actually seen them in between games. After they've reffed a game, they're in the back room watching film over the game they just reffed, taking some notes over what they could have done, what they could have changed, and what to watch out for in future games.
Well, it's no different. Whatever the job you have to get better at the job each and every game.
Exactly.
Maddie Thompson, shot fake on the left, swings it over to Hazelden. Joy Hazelden with the shot. Hits
Hard
it too high
backboard.
off the board. GB going back into pressure. Looks like pressure on a miss. Maddie Thompson tries to rip the ball out of Isabel Martin's hands. Almost has it. Goes off of her fingertips. Tisha Shadwell triggers inside. One big to the other. Gets it to Lindsay. Lindsay with the ball. Lindsay going where Lindsay wants. Shot clock winding down. No bounce for Annabelle.
Just off the front of the rim and not able to roll in. Maddie Thompson dips it off to Joy Hazelden. She pulls it out.
You've got to execute that 3-on-2 better. You got to attack that center defender and make him decide, and Hazelden has to feel comfortable going in. Maddie Thompson, a couple misses on that one. But they wish they had that back. They practiced the 3-on-2 over and over, and they've got to have that one, at least to get a shot at point-blank range, if nothing else.
Exactly. And that will be a foul. I missed on who, but it's their first personal foul.
Tisha Shadwell gets it over the half.
But just a note now, too, for every foul that GB has in the rest of this quarter, Australia will be sent to the line for more free throws. And as we saw in the first quarter, that gives
another
them more momentum.
4-on-2.
She takes the shot. Just off the back of the rim, not able to get the shooter's roll to fall in.
Isabel Martin, great outlet. Almost comes up off of one wheel. Maintains her composure, gets it to her captain, Lindsay. Lindsay to Shadwell. Shadwell for the 2.
Great pass by Lindsay.
Overcoming the pressure. Lindsay, the tallest player on the court, but handles it well and passes as well.
Maddie Thompson driving high, dishes it down up to Joy Hazelden with the fake,
nice fake
down the middle.
Hazelden
and not able to get the
finish. Beautiful.
Such a great drive.
Yeah, she froze her, drove, shot it, unable to get it off.
That is going to be another 8-second call. GB able to apply great defensive pressure, but not able to execute their baskets and finish on offense.
We've got 21-14, Australia with the 7-point lead. 2 minutes and 20 seconds into the second quarter of the second semifinal here in Subhampuri, Thailand for the IWBF 2019 Under-25 Women's Wheelchair Basketball Championship.
That's a mouthful.
You're not lying, sister.
And we're going to see a new player take the court for GB. This is going to be number 7, Neve. She's 18 years old.
Thompson triggers to Hazelden. Hazelden back to Thompson on the left wing. Nice rotation on the right. Back over to Hazelden. 5 seconds on the clock. 4 seconds on the clock. Over to Thompson. 3 seconds on the clock. Thompson with the shot. Big shot by Thompson with the shot clock winding down. Beautiful, beautiful poise by the GB squad. Unfazed by the shot clock winding down, put it in. More pressure.
Lindsay's
just out of the reach of Annabelle. Lindsay gives full effort to go after that ball. If you're passing from that far in the backcourt, you've got to try to get a little more air under the ball so that you can get the first bounce higher. Unfortunately, that's a long distance to get it just right.
Yes, and it was a great thought process of it, just poor execution. Annabelle Lindsay had the space, they passed it into the space, just not quite enough air, like you said, to execute it.
This is where the crossing would have been key, not to beat a dead horse. Maddie goes from left to right. Maddie with the ball. I can shoot on the left side. I can shoot on the right. Maddie Thompson with another big 2. Cuts the lead to 3, 21-18.
Shadwell with the
GBR
ball.
doing a great job.
Player down, but will they call it as an 8-second backcourt viilation? There is 16 seconds on the shot clock. Australia
interesting here to see how many seconds they'll give them to get it over the half. Because you can't give them 0, can you?
No, I don't think so. And I do believe there was 17 on the shot clock.
If I'm Annabelle Lindsay, I'm trying to get set up right now, just over the half, make an easy pass for Latu.
Yeah, I think she's a little deep right now. If I was her, I would come up a little bit more, just to make the pass a little easier. She does have the mismatch.
Okay, she's making the adjustment here.
GB taking off Maddie Thompson.
Unless were they calling a foul? I'm not sure why the baseline official's holding the ball. Might be letting them get set.
It looks like it could have been an unsportsmanlike foul. Nobody's taking position.
Let's see.
No, they're calling a foul. Just a normal foul, no unsportsmanlike foul, but I'm assuming Maddie Thompson's third, which is why she's come off the court.
Let's see if we could have our stats team fill us in.
Yeah, that is Maddie Thompson's third personal foul.
Smart decision by Coach Thompson to pull her out for this last minute and a half. Let's see if some fresh blood in this lineup can get something started. Hazelden with the ball. Hazelden, draws the big over. Gets it into number 5.
Wheeler not being able to finish. Long pass from Lindsay to Shadwell.
GB pulls off the pressure with Maddie Thompson on the bench. She's the heart and soul of that defense. Annabelle drives in for the mismatch. Stops her chair. Puts it up. Puts it in. Annabelle Lindsay.
Great composure there, stopping her chair, setting herself up, getting off a good shot, not rushing it. She knows she's bigger than basically anybody else on the court right now, all of the GB players, so made sure she really focused on her shot.
Takes the lead up to 5 for Australia yet again. Hazelden swings it over to the right side.
Fitzpatrick just off the mark.
They're going to want to stop on this one. They don't want this lead over 5 to go into the half. Let's see if GB can stop Lindsay.
Running a double big side, looking for an outlet.
Great confidence by Lindsay to give it to one of her low pointers. That's number 11, Tayshar Ovens from Perth. Rolling into the 3, Hazelden for 3!
Heading into
half. Beautiful conversion by Hazelden. Takes the lead down to 2. Ladies and gentlemen, we've got ourselves a match.
23-21, and now, like we said in the last game too, how these teams come out in the third quarter can basically determine almost the rest of the game sometimes. It can be a live or die moment those first couple minutes in the third quarter, whether a team comes out too relaxed, whether a team comes out on fire, and the biggest thing is to come out with enough energy and really hammer down in the third quarter, beginning of the third, to set yourself for a good tempo in the second half.
No doubt about it. No doubt about it. And something that I think is crucial when Coach Thompson gets his hands on the box score going into that locker room, he needs to tell this team that you are shooting 10 for 39 in the semifinal of the under-25 wheelchair basketball World Championships. And you're only down 2 points. You guys have made some unforced errors. You've made some bad decisions with these fouls. If we can clean that up and make a slightly higher percentage of our shots while still playing good D, we've got a really good chance.
And that just speaks volumes for their defensive pressure and how much pressure and chair contact they have. They've had a couple of 8-second, they've created a couple of 8 second calls on Australia. They've caused some turnovers. They've caused some passing errors. They've flustered Australia a couple of times. It's just a couple of mental lapses that have allowed Australia to get a couple of free layups, and that's created those runs for the Australian team, and that's what ends up flustering GB. They come out after timeout super strong. It's just they get a little bit flustered, and then that's when Australia has their opportunity.
No doubt about it. And I've got to tell you, this matchup here is proving out to be everything that we had hoped. As far as the physicality, that was the first attribute that we assigned to this game. And when you predict a high level of physicality, you're not thinking high score. And as luck would have it, we do not have a high score.
We definitely do not.
But the foul count, the just pure passion that they're playing with, it's definitely fit the bill. Unlike our first game, in which the American team proved too deep, too strong, too fast, and too high percentage for the Japanese team, unfortunately for them. So they'll be relegated to the bronze medal game. But this matchup here, quite the difference.
Definitely quite the difference, but exactly what I was expecting from this game. I was expecting both teams to come out pretty equally matched, and yeah, definitely not disappointed whatsoever. And for the GB team, we have Maddie Thompson currently leading them for scoring. She has 8 points, but currently only shooting 4 of 15. However, as we've seen on defense, she's just been an absolute defensive presence for them, helping lead that energy and creating a lot of the chaos for the Australian team. And then for Australia, I'm assuming Annabelle Lindsay is going to be their top scorer as of right now, and she is with 13 points. There's only a couple of their players on the board, and that's Shadwell with 6 and Lateau and Martin with 2 each. So I think if they want to be able to pull off that win, they're obviously on a good path. They're up by 2.5, but they're going to need a couple more players to start getting some points on the board.
And or making it easier for Lindsay. If you think about the 13 points that she scored, many of them have been from outside of the paint. So to your point earlier on the GB defense, incredible job shutting down the paint by and large. And certainly for Annabelle Lindsay, they're shutting down the paint even more. So if you're the Australian squad, make it easy on your best scorer.
And now you said that if you were Thompson, Miles Thompson, the coach, you would, in your timeout or in your halftime break right now, be telling your team, we're shooting such a low percentage, but we're still only 2 points down. Look at our defense. We just need to bump up our percentage a little more and keep up this defense. What would you be saying if you were the Australian coach?
I'd be talking about setting up the press break. Be prepared for GB to throw it on and take it off. And make sure that you're getting Annabelle Lindsay, your best ball handler, over the half as you start your press break. And then you basically have your other big, Tisha Shadwell, who's going to receive the ball from the inbounder on the baseline, and she's got the strength in her arm to get it over to Annabelle Lindsay. But what happens sometimes when you're in this press break is you're frantic. And so you have that level of urgency to get it over, and you don't turn off that urgency when you get it over to this side of the court. So set it up, be deliberate, be methodical, connect the dots as I just mentioned, and then when you get over here, get the ball out of Annabelle's hands and help her get as close to the basket as possible. And if they throw 2 or 3 people at her, then Tisha Shadwell should become an all-Australia player. She should be dominating and scoring if they're going to throw so many bodies at Annabelle Lindsay, because nobody can reach with her. So those would be my focus areas for them. And defensively, I wouldn't change much other than to say, keep your chairs tight on this GB team, because they're too good of a team to keep shooting at the level that they're shooting right now.
Yeah, I 100% completely agree. I think that Australia, the biggest part they really need to focus on right now is setting up the press break, staying composed, not too frantic, and making it easier to help Annabelle Lindsay. And then if they end up doubling Annabelle Lindsay, who is going to step up and be able to knock down those baskets? Because somebody's going to be open.
And all of you are on this Australia Devils team for a reason, right? It's not the Annabelle Lindsay Devils, it's the Australia Devils.
Exactly.
And you're on this Devils team because you earned a spot. So let's go out and show them why.
Exactly. Now, this is an under 25 team or tournament. So these ladies have very bright future, and this is the future of women's wheelchair basketball coming up here. So lots of experience and lots of learning opportunities for them. But for you, for someone that's been around the game for quite a while.
Quite a while.
Quite a while. With a couple of breaks in between, I've heard. But what is it like to see such a developmental tournament with both developmental teams that have been around for a while and then newly established teams that are growing into the sport?
To me, my purpose aligns with my new position in the NWBA. So just took on a role with the NWBA as the chief executive officer. And the reason why I did is because the mission of the NWBA is to provide sport for access to sport for people with disability. But the reality is, whether you're the NWBA, the Australia Basketball Association, Great Britain, or any of the other nations that are here around the world, we all have the same mission. So to see this many phenomenal athletes out here at the Under 25 Wheelchair Basketball Championship is amazing. And to know that there are only 8 of the best women's teams represented here. There are many, many more around the world. So to give these ladies the platform to come out here and show the world what young women can do for the sport is amazing. A, for just that reason in and of itself. But secondly, it's because all of these women are going to be members of their senior team competing in the Paralympics. Not all, but eventually many of them will make it up to that level. There's a good number on each team for those who are qualifying for Tokyo 2020 who are going to have an opportunity to put on their nation's jersey or singlet, depending where you're from, and represent their nation. So I couldn't be any more pleased about it. And the fact that teams like South Africa and Thailand and Turkey and other nations can watch the quality of basketball that we're watching from Japan and USA and now Great Britain and Australia gives them hope that if they continue to work hard, they too will have an opportunity to compete at this level.
Yeah, because something that's important to remember is that each zone, so Oceanic, European, African, and Americas, only get a certain number of teams to be able to go to the Paralympics. You have to qualify to go to the Paralympics. So some of these teams might not even be at the Paralympic level yet and qualify for them. But the thing is there's a Paralympics every 4 years. There's a World Championships every 4 years. So they always have the opportunity to keep that development, keep that growth, and eventually qualify for one of these major tournaments.
And that's ultimately the goal. But then all of these athletes also take so many other intangible things out of competing, right? So by being a member of a team, having big goals for yourself, continuing to believe more and more in yourself, all of these leaders on these sports are going to go on to be great people who eventually are going to find a way to reach back and get other people involved and help them with the sport as well, because it's such a mobilizing force for people.
And exactly. And while we have 5 minutes left in the halftime, do you want to go over some of the team behind the team and give us some sponsor shout outs?
Absolutely. There's nothing I want to do more at this exact moment.
This tongue twister of a mouthful.
Yes. So just to be clear, tournaments like this are not possible without the vision of the IWBF, which is the International Wheelchair Basketball Federation, and their ability to foster relationships with local organizing committees around the world. So they put these tournaments out for bid, and then very selfless people are willing to put in tons of work, many times for greater than 1 year, in order to host teams like this. And some of those people who've helped the local organizing committee here in Thailand, Subhampuri, Thailand, put this on are the Sport Authority of Thailand, the Nation Sport Development Fund, the Sports Association for the Disabled of Thailand under the royal patronage of His Majesty the King, the Suphanburi Province, the Sport Association for Wheelchair Basketball in Thailand, the Football Thai Factory Sporting Goods Company, Boonrod Brewery Company, a.k.a. Singa, Molten Basketball, Sifa Company, Bangkok Mass Transit Authority, and once again, last but certainly not least, the International Wheelchair Basketball Federation. Thank you all so much for everything you do to give these athletes an opportunity to showcase their talents.
Now, in one of my interviews that I've done with one of the USA basketball players, I asked them what kind of was their pre-game ritual, how did they get themselves in the mindset to be able to play a semifinal game or a close game or a game they know is going to be kind of a to-the-line, test-your-skills game. But what is also really interesting is free throws, and we've seen some free throws from the Australian GB team, or the Australian basketball team here, while GB has been getting into some foul trouble. A free throw, in theory, should be a very easy shot. It's a wide open, free shot. You have no defense. But sometimes being on the line can be a bit intimidating. When you were a player, did you have something that would go through your head or something you really focused on while being sent to the line?
For me, it was a matter of trying to tune out, and it wasn't as much what I focused on as a target, but it was more about going through the same routine every time. I've had the opportunity to be coached by some of the best coaches in the world, and for me, it was all about creating the muscle memory that would allow me to go to the line and perform with the same mechanics. But you see, some people will bounce it 2 times, some people will bounce it 3 times. There's really no magic recipe for exactly what you do. The magic comes in making sure that you do the same exact thing every time. And if you happen to miss a free throw, the odds are that you should go and do the exact same thing, but tell yourself to go through the same routine. Whether that's, and you could have some other cues, right? Like, so for me, I'd tell myself as I was going through my routine, release high. And there's no magic in that either, right? It's all personal preference. But each of us kind of has to come up with our own cues that work for us. So I'm sure that many of them, especially people like Maddie Thompson, who have played at a very high level for a long time, have some techniques. Interesting whether or not some of the other younger players who haven't performed well at the line, whether they've yet to develop that.
And speaking of Maddie Thompson and some of her techniques, yesterday you asked her, what has she done to become so fast? And she had quite the interesting response. What was that?
I believe she said that she likes listening to the rhythm of music and pushing to the rhythm of the music. And then she said, and I just go, mate.
Yeah, that was it. She hears the music, and that's how she goes to the rhythm.
Yep. Well, Vanessa, are you ready for some second half semifinal basketball?
Yes.
Game 2 semifinal of the 2019 Under-25 Women's Wheelchair Basketball World Championship.
Let's see who is able to execute these next couple of minutes and maybe even develop a bigger lead. We have 2 points, 23-21 for the Australian team. And let's see what's about to happen. I'm excited.
Let's go. Annabelle Lindsay, no hesitation, rushed that one, went very far off the backboard.
And really soon off the shot clock. They only had 20 seconds off the shot clock.
Yep. Hazelden, who finished the half with a 3.
Kayla Bell coming in. Tie game.
6. Kayla Bell. The defense left Kayla Bell wide open to roll scot-free to the lane. And she said, I dare you to leave me open. I'll put it in the hole. And that's exactly what she did.
Seeing some ball movement here by the Australians. Driving low, dips it to Annabelle Lindsay. Heavy pressure there by Jade.
Slight bump by Jade as Annabelle Lindsay was going up for the shot. Hazelden with the ball. Interesting, she doesn't look for threes unless the shot clock's going down. Number 15 trying to break down the defense on the right wing. Ball over on the left. Jade Atkin puts up the 15-footer off the screen long. The nerves may have carried over to the second half here, Vanessa.
It looks like they have, and something that's interesting is that GB has opted to not start the second half with Maddie Thompson. They have number 15, Lucy Robinson, in for the first time, as well as Jade Atkin, who we saw earlier in the game.
Yep.
Joy Hazelden
with the ball, draws in Annabelle Lindsay, then gets a nice dump off over to the baseline for Kayla Bell, who's unable to hit it. Annabelle Lindsay races full court.
Shadwell loses the ball. Hazelden able to pick it up.
Hazelden going to go in for the layup. Little bit of contact. Refs thought it was incidental. She got bumped by Latu.
Play will be
Hazelden
stopped.
looks at the refs with more than a curious look because she felt like she got bumped under the basket, but maybe they thought she was too deep to warrant the call.
Yeah, that could have been either way. I'm not really sure how I would have called it, to be honest.
And you would have called something is what you're saying?
I don't know.
Okay. We might need you to be more decisive as the game goes on.
That's why I'm not a ref.
Okay. Foul on number 15, Lucy Robinson.
First minutes in the game and gets her first foul pretty quickly. And like I said, being a ref, I think, is one of the hardest jobs here because you cannot please everybody. And in the spur of the moment, sometimes it can be a difficult call.
Yeah, it is. Says Lucy Robinson is from Leicester, as I say, but I think they call it Leicester. Tisha Shadwell off the glass. Who cares if she called it? It went in. Good
16-year-old from Melbourne.
25-23 Australia. 7:20 left in the third quarter. Hazelden with the ball, brings it onto the left side. Hazelden breaking down the defense.
Dips it out to Charlotte Moore.
Charlotte Moore with the ball. Dishing.
She's going to go for the long 45.
Charlotte Moore doesn't get the bounce. She took one last second look at Hazelden instead of confidently looking at the rim and going up with it. Latu has the ball up top, drops it down low to Tisha Shadwell.
Wow,
puts it up, puts it in, and one.
What a great finish.
Big play by Tisha Shadwell.
Opportunity here for the three-point play.
Making her friends back home at the Kilsyth Cobras Club very proud. The southpaw goes to the line for the three-point play, unable to convert. Hazelden brings the ball up on the right side. Australia's already back in their half-court D. Good transition. Ball dropped off down low to Lucy Robinson. Lucy Robinson does not get the bounce. Annabelle Lindsay controls the board, brings it up full court. Nobody stopping the chair of Annabelle Lindsay. Annabelle Lindsay. Good transition D there. Latu gets it, swings it out to Tisha Shadwell.
Loses the ball.
Unsure with the ball. Oh, nice pass by Shadwell into Lindsay. Another 2 for Australia in the paint. The size of Australia turning out to be a key factor.
Hazelden bringing the ball down.
27 for Australia, 23 for GB.
Not able to get
Good
the shot
defense
off.
by Tisha Shadwell. Late call by the outside official. Calls her on the bump.
But number 15, Lucy Robinson, will be sent to the line for 2 shots.
Lucy Robinson, a proud Sheffield Steeler, goes to the line for the first of 2. 2 bounces, breathes, puts it up. No good. Lucy Robinson, don't change a thing. Same routine. Misses 2 of 2. Question how long Coach Thompson's going to leave Maddie Thompson, no relation, out of the game. It's a 6-point game.
I think at this point I would be putting her back in. You have just under 16 minutes to go. She
Bump
still has
from
2 more
behind.
fouls.
Call a bump on number 10, Jade Atkin. Thought she bumped the smaller Aussie from behind.
Sometimes that can be a dangerous trail for a big. If you're trailing the 1-pointer, oftentimes they lose their balance easily anyways, and it can be an easy call for a ref if you're too close.
Yep, she bumped Mary Friday back into the game. Maddie Thompson putting her trademark chair skills on Tisha Shadwell. Now GB brings the ball up in pace. Hazelden gets one out. Comes in on transition, misses the shot. Well executed play. Didn't get the outcome they wanted, but they had execution. 4-on-4 break. Tisha Shadwell with the ball. Waiting, observing. Tisha Shadwell puts it up.
Deciding to take the shot.
Decides to put it up. 0 ball movement. If you're the head coach, Stephen Charlton of the Aussie Devils squad, you want her to put the ball in movement, reverse it to the other side. You can't dribble it for the whole play and expect that you can get the defense to react.
Shot clock running down, 5 seconds left.
Charlotte Moore, 15-footer, almost got the bounce. That's her second miss in a row for her. Marianne Latu, number 7 for the Devils, kicks it over to Shadwell. Mismatch down. Oh, fading out of the lane is Annabelle Lindsay.
Difficult shot there by Lindsay. They ran a double big side there. The GB team brought the help defense. There's going to be someone else open on the Australian team. They need to kick it out and find that person.
We're still stuck at a 6-point gap. 4 minutes left in the game. Maddie Thompson.
Lines it up and it's
back
in.
in the game, ladies and gentlemen. Another 2 for Maddie Thompson. Nice to see her come back and confidently put that ball up from the right wing, 15 foot on the screen. Kicking the ball out to Shadwell. They send a third defender over. Someone's got to be open. Someone is open for the Aussies on the offside. Mary Friday sitting outside the lane.
They decide to jump her. Swings it. Turnover by Australia. Caleb Bell coming up.
Really, really good. Help defense. Rotated back on that to Mary Friday, even though she's the fifth threat on the floor. And forced the turnover.
Jade Atkin just off the mark. Not able to convert the 2 points. And like we said in the first half, great defensive pressure by GB. Low scoring game, but they're just not able to convert the points on offense.
Yeah, and to say it plainly, if you're Jade Atkin, you've got to have that shot.
You've got to have that shot. Lindsay driving low for the mismatch. Gets the shot off the glass, not in. Atkin with the rebound.
Annabelle's been short on her last few shots. This might be one of those moments you pull her out for 1 minute, give her a quick talk, tell her she's looking good, let her get back out there. Maddie Thompson with the ball. Jade Atkin comes over, sets the screen. Maddie hit their last shot, puts up the next, and it's good. At some point, if you're Australia, you're going to have to, or if you're Australia, you're going to have to decide, am I jumping the hot hand? You can't let her hit many more than 2 in a row before you decide to jump that shot.
Exactly, and Maddie Thompson right now is the only one really hitting for GB, so honestly, I would jump her and see what the other four have to prove.
Tisha Shadwell says, I've got a screenshot too. I don't know if that's where I want her shooting from.
It looks like we're about to see kind of like battle of the bigs here.
Battle of the bigs. Maddie Thompson's more
not
of a
really
tweener.
Not really a big, but
they're not jumping her. She locks. She loads. No good. It looked good though.
But
Maddie
if
Thompson.
I was Miles Thompson, that's still who I want to have shooting right now.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Tisha Shadwell with the ball. Tisha Shadwell. Don't hold it.
Dips it off.
Drops it off to Latu. Nice mismatch down low. Drops it into Isabel Martin. Gets deflected out of bounds. 7 seconds on the clock.
That's going to be
I want Annabelle setting up down low on the block. She's come up to the half court. She may be trying to get some room so that she can come at the defender full speed. I think she'll have a mismatch down here on Lucy Robinson if she comes with full speed. Let's see if Lucy can start early enough to keep her out of the paint.
I think it's going to be a matchup of speed and chair skills for that. Both 4'5", so both very able players, but at this point it's experience and how they can handle their chairs. Lindsay decides to go to the right side of the court. Dips over to Shadwell on the left. Long two, not in.
Wow. That one was a little farther out than the last opportunity for Tisha Shadwell. Lucy Robinson makes a flash cut into the lane. Over Tisha Shadwell. No good. Annabelle Lindsay's in the paint. Shadwell needs to look for it. Shakes her off. Felt uncomfortable. That would have been a long pass.
She did have Maddie Thompson come up behind her, and it would have been close to a 3 seconds call potentially. That is going to be Maddie. 3 seconds. No foul call. That is going to be a 3 second call. 3 seconds on the low
pointer there, who was trying to set the screen for Annabelle. I think that's number 14. Victoria Simpson.
And Australia has opened this up to a 4-point game now.
Victoria from New South Wales. Hazelton with the ball.
Thompson keeping one of the players out.
Hazelton puts it up, puts it in. Great sign if you're the GB.
And this is what GB needs. They need Hazelton to start having a little bit more of an offensive presence here for them.
Well, it looks like it's a little bit infectious. Maddie hits a couple outside shots, and then Hazelton says, if you've got that, I've got that. I'm going to go up with it. 14 on the clock, 30 seconds left in the quarter. Annabelle with the ball. Drops it off to Victoria Simpson. Over to Latu. The one-hander. Off the glass from straight on. Banks open in Thailand on Monday night. 12 seconds on the clock. You better watch out for Hazelton. She has put it up. No
5
three
seconds.
for her this time. Swings it over to Maddie Thompson. She's had the hot hand. Maddie locks. She loads. No good.
And that's going to kill it for the third quarter.
Good
33-29 for Australia.
Good sign for Australia. I thought Hazelton would have come up a little bit slower. rolled into another three. She popped a three at the end of the half, and who knows, maybe she could have hit another one.
She did. She sent us into halftime after hitting a buzzer beater three, and yeah, I would have thought maybe she would have been the last one to take the shot, but maybe she thought since Maddie hit 2 in a row, even though she missed her last one, she might have more of a hot hand. Once again, selfless play, but maybe it should have been her shot.
Still good reads overall. If you're looking at the shots that they're taking overall, they are good reads. But from a percentage perspective, no matter how you slice it, a subpar performance for a team as good as GB. I think the percentage would be better in the second half than you would have seen in the first half, but probably still not up to their standards, considering all of the work that they put in. So as you think about the minute left that's left in this quarter, what's your focus area if you're Australia clinging to a 4-point lead?
I would say to play clean right now. Not necessarily any easier. Don't go off with the energy, off with the intensity. But they really, I think, need to focus on cleaning up their passes and not getting flustered with the press break. I assume that GB is going to come back at some point with the press. And I think it's going to be really important for them to be able to set up that press break, not become flustered, and take care of business.
And I'd like to see Annabelle Lindsay get a little closer. So she's shooting stationary shots, which we know she can do. But when you miss 3 or 4 in a row from 15 feet, you've got to work just a little bit harder to get yourself closer. And you want your passers to be ready when you do get in. We saw the one play where she did get inside, but Shadwell looked her off because she wasn't pushing the ball up as quickly as she should. Hazelton with the ball on the left side. Drops it off to Maddie Thompson. Maddie Thompson sets up off the screen. 15 on the clock. Maddie Thompson locks, loads, hits every ounce of that rim, rolls around, pops right out. Annabelle Lindsay needs to get over the half, receive the ball.
Miscommunication from the Australia
Tisha Shadwell,
side.
Scared of the 8-second call, which they would have called, throws it to Annabelle Lindsay, who's not looking. She may have called her name, but it doesn't matter if you can't see the play. So, again, if Annabelle would have got over the half and crossed, she could have received the ball.
Exactly. It's going to be really difficult if they keep showing the back to the
Hazelton
passer.
Drives right around Isabel Martin, puts the ball off the glass, and another ball rims out for GB.
Lindsay looking
Good
for an outlet.
execution, poor outcome. 2-on-1, Hazelton brings the ball on the right side, dishes it off to the left. Number 13 for the Brits.
2-on-1 opportunity for GB there.
Wide open, misses the point-blank shot. Isabel Martin, tough pass, she receives it. Oh, Isabel Martin. Thought about going 1-on-2, thought better of it. 6 seconds on the clock. Aussie unable to get set up. 2 seconds, 1 second. Long shot by Shadwell.
Great defensive pressure there by GB, and also a smart read there by Maddie Thompson. She knows she could have taken the ball from Isabel, but also she does have 3 fouls. So would she risk getting her 4th in the beginning of the 4th quarter with how she knows that the refs have been calling this game?
So instead of reaching for the ball, you get good chair position. Your other teammates are getting chair position, and you just make sure that you keep them all above the 3-point line, and that's the sort of outcome you're going to get.
Exactly. Australia was not able to get the ball below the 3-point line, and I think that was a great read by Maddie Thompson.
Yeah, so I think the Aussie Devils coach is talking again about Coach Thompson over here on the GB side is going to throw pressure at you, put it on, take it off. But it doesn't matter when they do it. You have to get set up in a press break. We need a couple people on this team to be vocal leaders to make sure that we get set up in the press break. Because if they do get set up in the press break, there's no way that they can't get the ball over half court with the size that they bring to the table. So let's get Shadwell on the elbow. Let's get Lindsay over the half. And as we like to say, connect the dots.
Exactly, connect the dots. But the most important thing is that they need to cross, and they need to not show their backs to the passer. They need to create that angle to allow either a good pass directly to them or set up the defense to where they can be the ball can be passed into space and they can go get the ball.
Absolutely. 4-point game, fourth quarter of this second semifinal match of the under-25 Women's Wheelchair Basketball World Championship. Hazelden with the ball, drops it off. Oh, Maddie Thompson! They might be roommates the way they're in sync with one another. Coach Thompson drew it up for player Thompson. No relation. That's the connected dots we're talking about.
Exactly like that.
Shadwell trigger the ball, however. Shadwell breaking loose. Might have benefited from a non-call.
Play will be stopped to upright. Their player Isabel Martin.
2-point game.
Australia will get the ball at the sideline. 12 seconds left on the shot clock.
2-point game, ladies and gentlemen. We do not have a barn burner, but we've got a great game. Annabelle Lindsay, 10 seconds on the shot clock. Leave the low pointer open. That makes her free. That timeout worked for her. She got that rest she needed. I'm sure she also got a pep talk. You're the best player on this team, Annabelle. Go out there and show it.
And that was a great pick there by Isabel Martin. She sacrificed herself to allow Annabelle Lindsay back onto defense as she was getting the pressure.
Maddie Thompson puts up the second shot. Still a good look.
Australia needing someone to get over half.
Great
And they're
pass.
able to do it just with the last second.
Oh! Big shot by
play.
Marianne Latu. Contact down low by Charlie Moore. She takes the hit. She makes the shot. And she's going to the line.
And the fans are absolutely thrilled with that play.
I'm pretty sure she's got some family members in the building.
Oh, yeah, they're losing their minds. That was a great finish by her.
I'm not even related, and I'm excited.
Now, timeout call. She's going to even be able to take a breath before her free throw. So hopefully she's able to come out and knock down that 3-point play.
Yeah, this is a case where you don't want to get too excited. Go over there, celebrate. Tell mom to chill up in the stands, or your sister, whoever that is, and come on out here and go through your what?
Just go through your routine.
Thank you.
Now, if you were Miles Thompson right now, what would you be saying? Because, I mean, they got someone else other than Annabelle Lindsay to be able to shoot. And now Australia, they're having players get onto the board to help Lindsay out.
Well, I would say it's not about who they're getting to shoot. It's about making sure none of them can shoot. Because when this GB team locks down, we've seen that they can cause immense disruption for that Australian team. It's only a 6-point game. We've got 7:24 left. We're going to the line with Marianne Latu. And I sure hope I'm saying that right. You know, she's from Sydney and she plays for the Metro Blues. She's trying to give this GB team some Metro Blues by extending this lead.
Yes. 20-year-old 2.5 player. See if she can knock this down.
Marianne Latu to the line.
Just
no
to
good.
the left. GB opting to let it go out of bounds and
might call a dead ball foul here on Maddie Thompson.
dead ball foul, or they're going to call it defensive. It's going to be defensive on Marianne Latu.
Yeah, she might have been a bit out of control. Although she might have got a little hip there from Maddie Thompson. I can't see the replay from where I'm sitting. Maddie Thompson with the ball on the right side. Maddie Thompson patient with the ball.
GB opting for a 4-on-4 offensive set right now.
Maddie Thompson 2-on-1. Bad pass there. Maddie Thompson trusted her rookie. Number 7, Neem Haran, 18-year-old 3.0.
Neve with the pass just a little too high there to Siobhan.
Great job by Annabelle Lindsay getting over the half.
Tasha going in for the cross, not being able to quite get the pick.
Mary Friday rolling free to the lane. Mary Friday unable to catch her balance.
Ends up with a travel call. A little bit of indecisiveness there, whether she should put it up or pull it out.
Yeah, and as she was deciding to bring it out of the lane, she touched her wheel more than 2 times, and that's an automatic travel. You don't see it called often, but that was pretty obvious. Maddie Thompson on the left side working with Charlie Moore. Maddie Thompson puts it up from the baseline. No good.
Australia
Annabelle needs
still
to get
not
it out of her
jumping
hands.
Australia not jumping her yet. A bit surprised, but making her try to prove herself still. I think both teams getting a little riled up here. If I was one of the coaches, I think I'd be calling a timeout because I think all the girls on the court right now are kind of in their own heads and making some mistakes that they know they shouldn't be doing.
Every time. I know it's not easy when they're putting defense on you. Lindsay over the half. That's the key ingredient for Australia to maintain this lead and avoid turnovers.
And one
Hazelden, beautiful form, beautiful arc, beautiful two-point shot from the right side. Marianne Latou.
Shadwell to Lindsay, just like you drew it up.
It's just basketball, love.
Pick by Tasha.
Annabelle Lindsay driving to the lane. Perfect bounce stop, puts it up, no good. Still great execution by Annabelle Lindsay. I would do it exactly the same the next time. Maddie Thompson with the ball. They've got numbers. Maddie Thompson, give and go. Hazelton dishes it. Australian fans wondering where the 3-second call was.
Dips it out to Fitzpatrick.
Latou has the ball. Lindsay getting over the half. Latou with the hook pass. You can't give up on that play, Annabelle. You can't give up on that play, Annabelle. You got to catch it and not leave it to chance.
Yeah, she thought Maddie had touched it, and then as soon as she realized that maybe that wasn't true, it was too late. Ball was already heading out of bounds.
Isabel Martin back into the game for the Devils. Isabel Martin making her presence felt in a variety of different ways for the youngster nonetheless. 20-year-old one-pointer from Melbourne plays for the Kilsyth Cobras. I hope it's not Kilsyth.
Joy Hazelden with the drive down the middle, dips it out to Maddie Thompson. She lines it up.
She refuses to use the glass. That's not her style with her shot. She usually goes straight on.
You got to stick to your style.
Great look, great pass. That's a really tough pass, cross body by Tisha Shadwell. She went cross body. She was facing left, passed it right. She's a southpaw. She's a high point player, so she was able to get it over the half. But Tisha Shadwell, 16 years old. Amazing that she has the smarts and the skills that she does at that young age. 7 seconds on the clock. Let's hope they're talking out there. Mismatch at the elbow. Annabelle Lindsay, unbelievable shot. Tees up the low pointer and puts in a perfect 15-footer. Beautiful play.
And this is the rhythm that she's going to be needing for tomorrow's game, whether it be bronze or gold.
If she's in it. 6-point game. GB with the ball. Left wing. Joy Hazelden with the ball. Puts it up. 2 for Joy Hazelden. Ice water running through her veins.
Hard pressure from GB now. Australia not able to get over half. Loose ball.
Time.
They need to get the ball over. 1 second. That's going to be an 8-second backcourt violation. GB ball at the sideline. Timeout taken.
Smart timeout called. You can't call a timeout from the floor as a player. In the American League, you could. But unfortunately, in the IWBF, you don't have the ability to do that, which forces you to execute when you're on the court. But a really smart timeout called. 4-point game. 8-second violation gives GB the ball. They're going to get it at the timeline or near the half court. So if you're Coach Thompson, I think I'm drawing up a play for Joy Hazelden. And then my second option is Maddie Thompson. If they overextend on either of those two, it may leave somebody wide open going to the lane.
I completely agree. I think I would have Savannah Fitzpatrick or maybe another one of the bigs in the dive for either Hazelden or Thompson. See if they jump, and then if they jump, either someone's going to get left open because of the help's going to come, or one of them's going to be able to get a layup out of that.
That's right. But you know, many of these girls have been training for a long time, putting in many days a week, over many weeks, many months. And who wouldn't want 4 minutes left in a semifinal game, 4-point game? Both teams have an opportunity to win this game. It's going to come down to execution, and it's probably going to come down to who can avoid the most turnovers.
I completely agree. Whoever's going to take care of the ball is going to be the one that comes away with this, because it's a very low scoring game, very low shooting percentage game. It's going to be who's able to take control of the ball.
Maddie Thompson with the ball on the right side. Drops it off.
Thompson
Joy
and Hazelden.
Oh! Just
looked like it was going to roll in.
Looked like Kawhi Leonard of the Toronto Raptors. Except it didn't go in. However, that's exactly what Coach Thompson drew up on the sideline, and that's exactly what anyone would have drawn up. Joy Hazelden had hit her last 2 shots. Only thing I would have done different was set it up on the left side, which is where she hit them from.
Yep, I 100% agree. And Australia getting a little lucky here. Full court pressure applied, but a player went down, gave them the dead time to be able to break down that press. However, GB doing a great job at applying that press during the dead time, able to get the ball over half with only 3 seconds left on the shot clock.
14 on the shot clock. Annabelle with the ball up top, working on the mid-pointer.
Trying to set that pick, not able to.
4 seconds on the clock. Annabelle Lindsay gets spun
Dips
around,
it down.
tries to drop it off to Mary Friday. Had she put the shot up, the ref may have called the foul. She clearly got bumped down low.
Yeah, and for a low pointer, just the smallest bump can throw off the balance, and that's going to be able to create the inability to catch a pass or take off a shot.
And we do have a classification system, which I won't get into now, but our lower class players have the worst balance or the least balance, and catching it over the shoulder and scoring is very difficult.
Very difficult.
Maddie Thompson with the ball on the left side.
Swings it over to Hazelden.
Hazelton creating space. Hazelton creating space. She's really crafty with the chair, creating space. Gets it over to Maddie Thompson. Maddie Thompson up. No good. Marianne Latou with the ball. Great job by GB putting pressure below
2
the line.
2 seconds to get it over.
Another 8-second violation. Coach Thompson has declared if you can't score, just get stops.
What's the saying? Defense wins championships?
Absolutely. So they had everyone below the mid post on that one. So there was a miss, and almost before they saw it was a miss, they put chairs on the other players because they just wanted to stop transition altogether.
Great job by GB flipping that switch and getting on chairs right away.
Wide open. Hazelden with the ball. Hazelden puts it up. It's short. Nearly a foul there.
Lindsay's over. They need a little bit more help.
Lindsay to come back for the ball. Annabelle Lindsay went too deep on that play. She needs to just get over the half-court line, be available for the passer. If they were coming in up-tempo, then you want to get as deep as Annabelle Lindsay was. So that's just a slight adjustment.
Exactly. Difficult shot there by Wheeler.
Get a foul. Annabelle Lindsay
breaking out.
Good call by the official. Foul
call
on Charlotte Moore, a.k.a. Charlie from Coventry CWBA.
That's going to be her 3rd personal foul.
Annabelle Lindsay receives the ball from Marianne Latou.
Gets it over to Shadwell.
Tisha Shadwell with the ball. Great chair position by the Brits once again. They've got everyone above the 3-point line. They need to break this pressure.
7 seconds left on the shot clock. Ball still above the 3-point line. Not necessary to go up for that. They still have 3 seconds left, but tries for a long 2 and hits the shot clock, so it will be an out of bounds.
4-point game. Not much progress on the scoring front, but GB putting on a chair skills clinic, stopping Australia from going where they want to go. Maddie Thompson with the ball up to Hazelton. She'll probably come right back to Thompson. Over back to Thompson. Maddie Thompson with the ball. Puts it up. Just left. Tisha Shadwell with the ball.
All of them in the zone, not even just below the free throw line, all stuck in the zone. Lindsay not able to reach up and be able to get the ball. GB hustles after it. Oh! A little bit of a
GB must have
mistake
touched
there.
the ball
Yeah.
instead of letting it go out of bounds.
And that's when the little bit of inexperience comes in. Wheeler should have just let it go out of bounds, and she tried to recover it. Ends up ball going out of bounds. It will be Australia ball under their basket with 9 seconds left on the shot clock.
Not sure who called the timeout, but it doesn't matter. You can't take them home with you. This is for all the marbles, as they say, trying to get to the championship game of the Under-25 IWBF Women's Wheelchair Basketball World Championship. We're sitting here in Supanburi, Thailand. Sorry, mates, it's been a long day. However, we've got 1:24 left in this match. We got 9 seconds on the clock. The Aussies are going to have it on the baseline. So let's see if the Brits are going to let them get set up out of this timeout. They may try to leave a little bit early and go keep Annabelle Lindsay as far away from the paint as possible. Their second best option is Tisha Shadwell. Each of them are having the most success relative to their teammates on this squad. So those are the top two options. And if you're the Brits, you want to make sure that you're getting Maddie Thompson on one of those two chairs and Joy Hazelden likely on the other.
And if you are GB right now, you have to have confidence in your shot. I think they've had a very poor shooting game so far. I think a lot of them are in their own heads when they go to take that shot and they're questioning themselves. And we can see it in their shooting percentage. And also, each team has only scored 6 points so far this quarter.
And Annabelle Lindsay starting at the top of the key when the clock's already under 9.
They got to get the ball in.
Oh, give and go to Martin. Gets rejected by Lucy Robinson from Leicester.
Baseline inbound for Australia.
Or is that Jade Adkin?
That is Jade Adkin.
Oh, I'm sorry, Jade. Great block nonetheless. We'll make sure we get it right in the book.
5 seconds left on the shot clock. Gets it into Lindsay.
Big shot from Annabelle Lindsay, front rim. GB coming back with pace, 3-on-3 break. Joy Hazelden, patience with the ball. Drops it down to Jade Adkin on the block. In and out. She gets a second try. It's up. No good. Marianne Latou gets the board. Annabelle Lindsay needs to get over the half.
They need to start creating some space. That is going to be GB ball off the front of
Isabel Martin.
Yes, off the front of her chair.
Tough catch for a one-pointer when it's thrown at her foot plate, but it's a tough pass when you're over half the court away.
A very tough pass.
Still in this under-25 championship.
With less than a minute to play.
This is her side, ladies and gentlemen. Don't think about it, Joy. Just shoot it.
Lindsay with the rebounds. If I was them, I would use a little bit of time. Get the ball over half and use a little bit of time right now.
No rush here if you're the Aussies. Good foul there by Joy Hazelden. Veteran play. Commits the foul.
That's going to be 4 team fouls. So not sending them to the line quite yet, but next one will. And that's Joy Hazelden's 3rd foul, so she has 2 to give.
She's trying to foul. They're not calling it.
That's going to send Lindsay to the line for 2 shots.
If you're GB, you want them to call the foul on number 6, Kayla Bell, instead of letting it go on the 3rd foul when Maddie Thompson does it. They were banging the chair.
Yeah, and that's going to be Thompson's 4th foul.
Not much time left, but yet and still, you want to make sure you've got her for the full of the match.
And exactly right now in this moment, they're trying to foul. So they give free throws to the Australian team, but then they have more opportunity to score, whether they get the rebound or the inbound from the baseline. And if they need to foul fast again, Thompson's not the one you want to be in that situation where she has to foul, because now she has 4. That's not going to give her the opportunity to be a scorer then.
And you need these free throws to take it to a bigger lead. Annabelle Lindsay, uncharacteristic, misses both of her free throws. She's been huge this game for Australia. But as you know, things get tight when you're at the line in a situation like this. Maddie Thompson with the ball. Maddie Thompson surveys the court, drops it off to Joy Hazelden. She's going to roll into this 3. Joy Hazelden Gets bumped by Marianne Latou.
She is going to have the opportunity for 4 free throws now. That's a 3-point shot with a foul. She's going to have the opportunity for 4 free throws now, I believe, which can tie the game. 3. Sorry, she didn't make the shot. My bad.
Could have been a 4-point play had she made it.
Could have been a 4-point.
But they stopped the clock. 12.9 seconds left in the game. She's going to the line for 3. They could cut the lead down to 1.
Get a quick foul.
Quick foul if they make all 3 or otherwise.
The
and if
ideal
you got real crafty, which I'm not a fan of, you can make the first 2 and miss the second one.
That is true. I think the ideal situation right now, if I was GB, would have Hazelton drain all 3, get a quick foul, send someone other than Lindsay to the line, and then you still have quite a bit of time to be able to come down, get 2 points, and win the game.
And Coach Thompson brings in number 13, Shiv Fitzpatrick. Not sure if she's a bigger rebounder than Jade Atkin.
Misses
Big
the first.
miss here. Big miss here by Joy. She's done so well for her GB teammates. Let's see if she can bounce back and make the next shot. She's going to be beside herself on the way home. That's a tough miss. Maddie Thompson, veteran move, goes over to her teammate and says, make the third. And she does. Veteran leadership by Maddie. Pick her teammate up, gets her focused on the third shot.
And both Joy and Maddie have senior team experience, so they've been at big stage world championships all the way to U25 world championships, and they've been around each other for quite a while, so definitely I think a connection that they have together.
Absolutely. 3-point game. Could be tough even if they get the turnover to put up another 3, but you've got to try.
You've got to try.
Quick turnover, you don't get it, you force a foul. The interesting point is they've had 8-second call after 8-second call on several occasions. Not sure that they can disrupt the Australians on getting it up out of the timeout, but it's interesting whether or not they considered get the 8-second violation and get it back here in the half.
I think that would be. Because if they get if they take the risk and get the 8-second call, it only leaves them with 5 seconds to play.
And you see they have Tisha Shadwell triggering the ball. I'd be having Shadwell at the elbow and let Latou bring it in, because Shadwell's got the arm to get it over. She may have it to get it over, but now Maddie Thompson's going to try to front Annabelle Lindsay.
Yeah, very interesting tactic here by the Australians. I would almost have Isabel Martin inbounding, because I would rather have her be my last option at the free throw line.
They're calling the ball from the sideline or the half. After the timeout, they must be able to bring it from the half. This is a victory for Australia based on that rule, because it was going to be tough for them to get it over, in my opinion. Tisha Shadwell with the ball. Annabelle Lindsay working. Annabelle Lindsay receives it. Annabelle Lindsay gets fouled. Great heady play.
It's called an unsportsmanlike foul on Charlotte Moore. That is going to give Australia, I believe, 2 free throws and the ball.
That's an aggressive call. She only hit her on the back wheel. I'm not sure if she grabbed her arm down or what happened.
She did get contact on her arm, but
she can't reach anywhere else.
Exactly. It's also, I would say it's considered a play for the ball. Lindsay has the ball.
You really need this next one if you're Australia. Take it to a 2-possession game. Otherwise, GB, well, no, they're getting the ball back based on the last call. I apologize. Yeah. So it's already a 4-point game, and now they get the ball back. They're going to foul again, have a chance to extend the lead even further. Marianne Latou goes straight to the lane, puts it up, puts it in!
That is the nail in the coffin.
With the 6-point lead.
Her family is going crazy. They have got to be proud of how she has played in this game.
Absolutely. You make a difference when you have those opportunities. Every moment wasn't perfect, but you couldn't be more perfect than that play right there. Congratulations, not just to Marianne Latou, but also all her friends back in Sydney and the Metro Blues.
Yes. And that's going to give it a 6-point lead for the Australian team with 8 seconds left in the game.
You know what's interesting about this is that these moments are big for players like that, because she's a 20-year-old who had an opportunity to put the final touches on in a semifinal game in a championship tournament, a world championship tournament. And that's exactly the type of experience she's going to need if she's going to be a difference maker when it comes to making a senior team. And she may also be back here to the next under 24 championship, under 25
she very
championship.
Well might be. GB choosing to get the ball at half court. They're going to have 8 seconds.
Let's see if we get a little bit of a give and go here for Maddie Thompson. If you're GB, you at least want to end on a high note, because you're going to be going into a bronze medal game very likely.
Against a strong Japan
Maddie
team.
Thompson rolling into a three from deep.
And
just short. Maddie Thompson, nice look.
2.8 seconds left in the
Aussies
game.
are beginning a celebration over there. Attempted foul by Maddie Thompson.
And that is going to send us to the end of the game. The Australians will be heading into the final game against USA. 42-36 for the Aussies. GB is, as you can see, rather disappointed right now, but exactly the kind of game I expected to see from this team.
We knew it would be physical, and we knew that with that physicality, it might not be high scoring. But congratulations to both of those programs, because they put on a really great defensive display.
Yes, that was a great display of athletic talent from these young ladies.
So then answer me this. Heading into the final, USA versus Australia. USA won the match in pool play, but you had one end of the coin, or one side of the coin, USA with a dominant offensive performance, really for most of the tournament, if we're fair. And you have Australia, who had a dominant defensive performance, albeit GB did not shoot really well, even when they had some open looks. So what do you think heading into the championship game tomorrow at 5:15 local time?
I think that, so when USA and Australia played, that the Americans did a really good job of basically shutting it down. They won quite handily against Australia. So if I was Australia, I would be watching film right now and looking at shot charts, and I would be focusing on shutting down Rose Hollerman and also figuring out how you're going to handle other players in different situations if they heat up. But the biggest key is shutting down Rose Hollerman. She has been a force to reckon with this tournament. If I was the Americans, I would make sure not to come in cocky, not to come in overconfident, and to make sure to come in and continue to play the style that they've shown throughout this whole tournament.
Absolutely. And I think what Australia is going to face is great depth in that American team and a similar level of pace on defense, where they're going to be stopping chairs, and you can expect that Coach Trooper Johnson will stay true to his form and alternate a lot of pressure with some other half-court defense, which is equally pressure-packed. And then you never know which threat is going to get you with that American team. So if Australia has any chance of winning, they're going to need to get Annabelle Lindsay over the half and as close to that bucket as possible, and get contribution from Tisha Shadwell. But I want to say thanks to you for your great work. And secondly, I want to say thanks to the IWBF for bringing World Championship wheelchair basketball around the world and making sure that all of the fans of the game have an opportunity to see great offense, great defense, great teamwork, etc. And without them putting in this investment, we wouldn't have the opportunity to showcase the game that we all love.
Yes, thank you so much for asking me to commentate with you. And also, thank you to all of our viewers for tuning in and watching this game.
Yep, and we'll be back tomorrow. Check the IWBF social media for game times, and check your local country programs for similar posts so that you can find out what time it is locally for you. And if you enjoyed the commentary today, there's nothing but more waiting for you tomorrow. Come on back.